Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Sethum and welcome back to another video guide for Ark Survival Evolved. Today in this video, folks, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about taming a Megalosaurus in Ark. Now, the first thing that you need to know about this creature is that you can predominantly find these creatures in caves. However, on Ragnarok, you can also find them wandering about out in the wild. Now, I am going to do this in the wild on Ragnarok. In the caves, it is quite simple. You just pretty much grapple onto the ceiling and knock it out that way. However, in the wild, you do want to use some traps. There are several mechanics that you want to keep in mind with this creature, as it is nocturnal, and you will need a saddle to ride it, and of course, superior kibble to tame it. Of course, you can use meat as well, and the better the quality of the meat, the more taming effectiveness you will get. So let's have a look at the saddle right here. This is what you will need. So you'll need to be level 57 to unlock this particular engram, and in terms of crafting it and materials required for it, it is not all that expensive to craft. Basically, this creature is very efficient during the night. However, during the day it sleeps, and so it is kind of a creature with a bit of quirks to it. So, as you can see, I've already knocked out a Megalosaurus right there. It has full torpidity, and as I said earlier, this is a nocturnal creature. That means that it is active during the night. This is very important to keep in mind, because once you have tamed it during the day, it will want to sleep, and during the night it will become active. It does gain a bit of a buff during the night, making it slightly faster and stronger. Nothing too crazy. However, during the day it will gain torpidity and get knocked out. Now this one, as you can see right there, it has full torpidity. I'm going to change the time of day to nighttime to show you what happens if you decide to tame this during the day, or at a time during the day where it is just about to go into night. I'm going to set a time that is close to midnight. We'll gamma up, and as you can see right there, it's already back up now. It has pretty much cleared all of the torpor for this creature. It is still gaining torpor because of the fact that it was out of stamina due to being in the water and swimming. So its stamina will decrease. When it runs out of stamina, it will gain more and more torpor. So that is something to bear in mind. Now, basically, the idea is you don't want to tame this during the day, just before it gets into night. You want to wait for nighttime to come. That does mean that it's going to be faster and slightly stronger, but you can still outrun it. Now, if you see it in the wild, of course, you will want to use a trap. I'm going to cover the trap as well, because there are some quirks there as well. So, I've just knocked out, or about to knock out, this Megalosaurus again. This is the second time I'm knocking out, and this because I want to show you a little interesting things. How this time around I'm doing it during the night. Its torpidity is fairly high because it is running away and not trying to run towards me. As you can see, it isn't particularly fast. Now it is knocked out. Torpor is high. We are during the night at this time, so I'm going to change the time of day to daytime, and as you can see, it remains knocked out. However, notice that when I go back into night, the moment nighttime comes, it gets back up. So the way you want to do this is you want to time it during the night. You want to knock it out during the night as early as possible. That does help. That will allow you enough time for its hunger to go down, and so that you can feed it and knock it out, especially if you're doing a high level creature. Very, very important. Lower level creatures, you don't really need to worry too much about it, I suppose, as long as you don't do it too late during the day. Okay, so it's already focused on something there. Now let's talk about the trap. The trap is a bit of a interesting thing, simply because if you use too many door frames, what will happen with the Megalosaurus is it will snag onto the door frame's hitbox, and it will be able to pretty much walk itself out of the trap. Now I've got the Megalosaurus right here, still the same Megalosaurus that you've seen in the previous segment of this video. I'm going to set up a trap, and we're going to start with a base of 2x2 foundations. I'm trying to decide where I want to kind of build it. There are several options. Now, obviously, because I'm on a wyvern, it will not aggro onto me. If you are on foot or on a creature where the Megalosaurus will aggro onto you, then you might want to set up your trap slightly further away. So as I said, we're going to go with a 2x2 foundation. I'm just kind of thinking that this Megalosaurus is a bit too close, but I can kite it away if I need to, so that's not an issue. Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky because we will need a way out of the trap. Now, if you have a creature such as a wyvern, you can pretty much kite it fairly easily into the trap. But I'm going to be kiting this one on foot just to kind of show you how to do it without the use of any tames. So we're going to go with 2 walls tall all around, with the exception of one specific area where we will put down a door frame. That is our exit out of the trap. Do bear in mind that because of that door frame, the Megalosaurus will be able, or has a chance of actually clipping onto the door frame's hitbox and pretty much climbing out of the trap. So once you've kited it in, you may want to try and replace that door frame with a wall. It is a good thing to do because at the end of the day, you don't want this creature getting out of the trap. Okay, I totally messed that one up. I'm going to have to replace that foundation. I was hoping to get the wall. I was going to do the door frame on the side. That was a mistake. Totally didn't expect that to happen. So once again, I will place down a foundation and then I'll show you what I am going to do with the rest of the walls. So door frame there. On top of that, we'll put a wall. Then we'll go with walls all the way around. Now that is the box. That is a pitfall trap. We need a ramp for it to get into the trap. So we're going to go with 2 ramps down all the way into the ground. And that is pretty much the trap set. Okay, it's fairly far away. Just wanted to reset the time so I can show you guys what goes on. And that is quite good because we're not foggy anymore. So you guys can see exactly what I'm up to. So I'm going to park my wyvern here. And then I will start firing trank darts at it. You can of course also use the crossbow and trank arrows. Do bear in mind they do more damage. Because I've been using the same Megalosaurus to show you its night and day mechanics, it has lost some health, however not that much because of the darts. Darts do less damage and apply the torpor instantly, whereas the trank arrows do more damage and apply the torpor instantly with a bit of torpor over time application for a couple of seconds after you've hit your target. So I'm just going to run up the ramps. You want to keep it close to you. As you can see, it is not particularly fast even when it's aggroed onto you. One thing that I do like about this creature is how its eyes glow in the dark. That is pretty cool. That tells you that it is nighttime and it has become an active creature. So I'm going to wait for it to walk up the ramp and then run out the door before it bites me. As you can see right there, it just clipped onto the door frame and I'm stuck in this corner. I don't know what's going on here. There we go. Once it is in the trap, I would strongly suggest that you replace that door frame temporarily with a wall. It can be a wooden wall, it doesn't make a difference. The idea is you don't want it to come back out. However, I'm confident enough that I'll be able to knock it out before anything bad happens. Of course, even if it does get out, I can still deal with it. At the moment, it is focused on the trap, so I'm just going to continue putting darts into it. I'm not going to cut the section to the end because it doesn't take too many darts to knock out a Megalosaurus. And this is a standard long neck rifle. So it does gain torpidity quite quickly. It can knock it out fairly quickly. Now, I'm hoping that this particular Megalosaurus will be fairly hungry because it has lost a lot of health from me just knocking it out over and over again to showcase its mechanics. So it might work to my benefit in that I might not need to starve it out. However, you can also starve it out. I actually strongly suggest that you starve it out simply because you don't want it getting back up during the day or something, because if it does, you will lose whatever you put in its inventory even if you knock it out again. So with this particular creature, I strongly advise that you use the starving mechanic. So basically that means you don't feed it anything, wait for its hunger to go down, and then only put the kibble in when it's ready to be instantly tamed. For this, I strongly suggest that you use Dodo Dex. It is an amazing app that will help you gauge how long you need to starve any creature in the game for. All you need to do is put in the server details and what a creature is, the level, and all that wonderful stuff. It also tell you how much food you need to tame it and all that good stuff, as well as narcotics if that is a requirement. Now, it is not angry on the trap anymore. It's not trying to destroy the trap, and so that tells me that this particular creature has high torpidity at this point in time and is pretty much ready to be knocked out. There we go, down it goes, and let's have a look. See, this allows me to go back into the trap very safely. It does make some really weird and wacky noises right there. As I suspected, its hunger has gone down quite a bit. It has also lost stamina, so that is another thing to keep in mind. It does tend to tire out quite quickly. So I'm guessing, based off the amount of hunger that this creature has and my taming rates, that it should instantly tame. Yeah, so it seems that I'm pretty much right. This should be a fairly instant tame, and so basically this is what you're aiming for on official servers or servers with similar settings. Remember to remove the kibble out of the creature's inventory as it will continue to feed on it. I'm going to clear out the trap and then I'll show you what this creature can do. Now, I do suggest that you pick up your trap. You do get some materials back, which you can then recycle to build other traps in the game. Obviously, I have a mod that allows me to pick stuff up, and so that makes my life that much more easier. Alright, nearly there. I can use these materials for a trap at a later time. So to ride it, you need to put a saddle on its back, and as you can see, it's got decent carry weight. Nothing too crazy. I'll pick up the kibble. And as you can see, this is its walk. It can run pretty fast as well. I mean, it's not the fastest creature, and that is its bite right there. That's how fast it is. Now, one thing you need to bear in mind is it will fatigue, so that is another mechanic for this particular creature. This is its bite mechanic. It looks pretty cool. I like the animation. I really specifically like the glowing eyes, and I tend to tame them just for that. Other than that, I don't really use them. They're not really a vital creature in this game. So I'm going to change it today so you guys can see the difference, because there is a difference in the movement of this creature. Notice how quick it moves during the night, and now let's change it in today. We'll go into this right here. Now, as you can see, it is significantly slower. It does have the ability to turn on the dime. That's its walk. Its run is pretty much slow as well, and it does end up being groggy. Basically, it will tire out and be knocked out if you walk it for too long. Now, this mechanic works both in the scenario where you ride it, it will be knocked out, as well as if it's following you. So you basically have to let it sleep. So if you plan on using this creature to go from one area to another, or move it from one base location to another, and the distance is long, you will have to consider giving it breaks to sleep, especially during the daytime, regardless whether you are riding it or having this creature follow you. So that is one of the downsides for it. It does like its sleep. Other than that, it is a pretty cool creature. I kind of like it. I like the little fur and feathers on it. I think it adds to the creature, and I really like the glowing eyes. So as I get off, as you can see, I can sit on his back, and you get a little sleep deprivation meter. You don't want that to reach 120, especially during the day. Especially that time, because if you do get into trouble, you're gonna have to pretty much wait for it to get back up, so that can be problematic at times. You've got some settings right there for its sleep as well. that is pretty much it for this video, folks. I do hope that you have enjoyed it and found it useful and informative. If you have, please don't forget to support me and the channel by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new and haven't already for more similar content from myself. And if you have just subscribed, why not check out some of my other videos and guides here on this channel? Who knows, you might just enjoy them. And don't forget to hit that bell icon so that you get notified when I upload new videos and content to the channel. Also, for those interested, you can always find me on the Sethtopia Discord. Links to this, of course, you can find down below in the video description as well as in a pinned comment from myself. Until next time, stay safe, folks.